Is puppetry a form of animation? Yes, yes it is. Allow me to explain myself. This is a different sort of video than the kinds I typically make, but I feel as though it's a necessary one, for it seems that all my most popular videos, aka Oni Plays Animateds, seem to compel several viewers to take to the comments and let me know that what I'm doing is not animation. I've replied to a couple of those commenters here and there, and all but one who I've replied to so far have remained adamant that I'm wrong on this. But my response is to refer to them to the definition of the word animation according to its Latin origin, derived from the word anima, which means to instill life. Animation means to instill life in that which has none. And don't worry, I'll get to the Oxford Dictionary definition in good time, just let me set the scene here. By meaning alone, and without phrasing or colloquialism getting in the way, to animate something is to make it look like it's moving. To be animated is to be instilled with life. Ergo, for something to fall under the category of animation, it must be an act of visual illusion that makes something inanimate appear to be, well, animate. This is a puppet. It is not alive. This is me manipulating the puppet. Well, how about that? It almost looks like it's alive. When most people think of the term animation, the first thing that likely springs to mind would be a cartoon show. But remember too that a cartoon isn't animated by default. It's only a drawing or a caricature. It becomes an animated cartoon when it appears to be moving. This is a cartoon. It is not alive. This is several similar cartoons playing in sequence. Well, how about that? Yeah, it looks like it's alive. For years, the standard way of creating this illusion was to draw multiple cartoons and play them sequentially, thus making it look like a cohesive scene come to life. Though in more recent years, great strides have been made in the realm of digital and computer-generated animation. So now an artist might draw, sculpt, or model a cartoon, then manipulate it directly with this new technology to make it move. In a way, this method of animating is sort of like virtual puppetry. So for those of you who have your doubts about the legitimacy of puppetry as animation, I must ask you this in turn. Is CG model rigging not animation? I could say the same thing about shadow animation, photo animation, claymation, sand animation, real-time motion capture, stop motion, and so much more. Animation is a diverse and varied craft. Whether you like it or not, puppetry is one of its many forms. Just because puppetry has its limits in reality that drawing and computer generating don't have, that doesn't make it any less of an illusion that grants immobile things the appearance of liveliness. But, even if after all of this, you still insist that my so-called Oni Plays Animated videos are not animations, which they are, this is just a devil's advocation, let me hit you with some semantics. The videos are called Oni Plays Animated, not Oni Plays Animations. Animated is a different word from animation. Sing and song have different definitions too, you know. And do you know how you can tell whether or not something, anything at all, is animated? Ask yourself, is it moving? If the answer is yes, then it's animated. Oni Plays is a commentary-based show. While some may watch the games they play and enjoy the occasional visual editing gags, the majority of the enjoyment that comes from that show is auditory. You're not seeing something funny, you're listening to something funny. By making an animated tribute, I'm adding a visual enjoyment factor not present in the original videos. Technically speaking, somebody could just lip-sync to the audio in real life. They wouldn't be lying if they called it an animated tribute. I'm not gonna do that though, because I don't just make animated tributes, I make tribute animations. That's the distinction I'm sure most, if not all of you initial commenters were trying to argue by contesting the legitimacy of puppetry as animation. If you've watched up to this point anyway. But through comprehensive conjugation, I think I've made it clear that puppetry is indeed a form of animation. But if you're still not convinced, let's take a look at the Oxford Dictionary definition. Animation, the technique of photographing successive drawings or positions of puppets or models to create an illusion of movement when the movie is shown as sequence. Well, I'll be darned. Does that say positions of puppets? I'd say that's check and mate. And before you say it, I know the use of word photographing makes it sound like it's more so referring to stop motion than actual live puppetry. But remember this, everything, absolutely everything captured on a camera is a series of photographs. That's just how film works. Thanks for listening to my little dissertation here. I'm sorry if I've come off as smug or aggressive. I'm just passionate about puppetry, if you, couldn't tell. And I think it's a shame that it's viewed as lesser when compared to the more time-intensive illustration-centric methods of animation, which, to be clear, is an incredible craft that takes a great amount of discipline and talent, and I very much respect it. I in no way want to give off the impression that what a puppeteer does and what an illustrator does are the same thing. They're apples and oranges. But at the end of the day, well, they're both fruit. All methods of animation are artistically viable, and they all take talent to do well. So instead of excluding or disowning the methods that are different, do you think we could unite under our shared passion instead? Like the passion we share for the exploits of some Irish guy who plays video games and does rhyming hypotheticals with his friends. Thank you.